Hi, my name is Linda Perez from Web 110, and I'll be talking about HTML. Talk about is what HTML is, and it is a hypertext markup language used for creating the front end of a web page, which is what the visitors see. It is essentially the skeleton of a website because it gives a structure to the content. It can be written in text editors such as Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, and more. It is case sensitive, which means elements and attributes should be written in lowercase. Now I'll explain to you how HTML works. HTML consists of a series of elements represented by tags that tell the browser how to display the content. These tags label pieces of content such as heading, title, and body to organize the website's information. Then the browser uses the tags to extract the information for the website, but the browser does not display the actual tags. This basically means that the tags are there to help us organize the information that we're sending to the browser. In this example, we can see there is an opening tag, which is the title tag, and we have the closing one, and we know it's a closing tag because it has a / in it. We also can see that there is some information that we want to send to the browser. In this case, it says hello friends. Now we'll move on to the HTML elements, and there are two types. The first one would be nested or container elements, and this ones always need an opening and a closing tag, and they can contain other elements. So as we can see, there is an opening and then a closing HTML tag, and inside of it there is another element called body. The second one will be empty or self-closing elements, and they can only contain attributes and they don't have an end tag, such as the image element. In this example, we can see there is the image element with an attribute inside of it. And we use attributes to provide additional information about an element. It must always be in quotation marks. And in this particular example, we can see that the URL is there so the browser can go and find the image. After diving a little bit in what HTML is about, I'd like to move on to HTML basics. And the main things you need to know is that every HTML document must start with the document declaration doc type. And it is an empty tag, so it doesn't have a closing tag. We can see it right here. And we also need to know that the document starts with an opening and ends with a closing tag. So here's a opening HTML tag, and we add the English language, and there's a closing tag. And we also need to know that what the user sees is between the body. So everything between the opening and closing body tag is what the user is going to see. There is also this meta tag, which we use to tell the browser that we're using the UTF-8 character encoding, which is a method of converting your typed characters into a machine readable code. And finally, I would like to walk you through the steps to start creating a web page using HTML. The first thing would be to download a text editor if you don't have one in your computer. In this case, we're going to use Visual Studio Code. I'm going to create a folder, and it's going to contain the index folder and images folder. If we were to personalize it more, we could add the styles folder to use CSS. For now, we're just gonna follow the steps. Here we have this. We already have Visual Studio Code open, so we're just gonna put it on the side. First thing would be to go to VS Code. We already have it open. Well, we already have the folder created, which is called project. We have our images folder in there. So, like it says here, I'm going to click open folder. We are going to find the folder we created and we're going to select it. Let's wait for it to open. And then right there, we're going to create new file and we're going to call it index.html. Click enter and there. We just need to start coding, keeping in mind that the guidelines we talked about. And we can just start typing. In this case, we're going to just copy and paste the code that we already have, so we don't spend much time here. So here we have all the basic elements. We can save using Control S, and then we have websites like this, like validator.w3.org to validate our code. So you can just copy and paste your code and then check if you have any errors. In this case, I'm missing something in my after the 8. Let's see if it catches it. It's telling me right here that it was just that. So we just needed to put the quotation mark at the end of the after the 8. And that was good. So document checking completed, not errors or warnings to show. So we're good. And then our instructions tell us to test the website in the browser to see if it's looking the way we want it to. So we're going to hit Alt B. And here we have it. The name of the homepage is Hello Classmates. And we have the heading, which is How's Your Day Going? Paragraph that only has 2 words, very well. That's how you start a basic web page. At least that's how I do it. There's many ways to do it, and I would say that a great source to find this type of information would be W3 Schools, which is where I did most of my research. I would say almost all of it. That will be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.